always live way more before. That makes no sense. No sense. We are live. Okay, hello everyone. We're going to do that bit at the start where we linger to see if anyone's going to join us live so that we can do questions and whatever else we do. Today we are doing the final 4 steps of our Changes 12-step recovery program. So if you didn't watch the last 2 weeks that we've done, we did steps 1 to 4, steps 5 to 8, and now we're doing 9 to 12. Woohoo! Oh, we've got 2 people. I'm going to go on my phone so I can see who's joining us at what time. It's really not a flattering angle for my arm. I have to go on quietly though. We've got 3 people. Hi both. Hi Jackie. Welcome back to our live. You come every week. So kind. How do I get this live up now? That's my voice. Hello, Andrew, Jace, and Jackie. And there's defo someone else, but I don't know who. I'm going to keep that up so we can see who joins us. Like I say, we'll give it about a minute and then we will get into our final 4 steps. How is everyone doing this week? I feel like it's a bit sunny today. Hi, LQ. Is everyone well? Has anyone used any of the steps we've talked about so far in our other videos? And remember, if you are watching this back, you're not watching it live, you can still comment and we'll try and get back to you, but obviously we're not here right now. We are now, but not if you're watching it back. And this recording will also go onto our YouTube channel. If you don't follow us already, head on over. It's Changes Health and Wellbeing. And you'll see lots more of our ugly mugs. That was a bit rude, wasn't it? I should have just said mine. If you don't follow us on Instagram, we are Changes HW. And you know what? I only learned about last week or the week before what the HW stood for. Like, I literally do all the social media and I didn't know what it stood for. Health and Wellbeing. I said to Chris the other week, I was like, what does the HW stand for? And he looked at me and he was like, Health and Wellbeing. I was like, oh, that makes sense. Is anyone else going to say hello? Hello. We're all going to get into these steps last week. So to remind you what the last 4 were, what we covered last time, we did use and develop wellness tools. We did step number 6, begin personal evaluation. Step number 7, cultivate helpful thinking. And with that, step number 8, cultivate helpful behaviour. So if you didn't watch our last live and you think that would be useful, head on over either to our Facebook page or our YouTube channel and you will find that video. I can't see who's joining still. I don't know why. If you've got anything else to say, very quiet today.
I'm finishing off the locket that I'm eating so I can actually talk in a minute.
Chris is not feeling too sharp today. It's not coronavirus though. We've got 6 viewers now. Shall we crack on?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. Okay, so this week we are starting with step number 9. And if I'm looking down, it's because I am referring to our 12-step recovery program booklet. And I like to directly quote from it sometimes. And sometimes I lose my way and go off on a tangent. That's weird. I never do that. So step number 9. Realise that feelings may not be facts. Now this is my absolute favourite step. For someone with an anxious brain, we just paused. Hopefully we're back. So for someone with an anxious brain, this step is really, really important to me, and it's one that I remind myself of daily. You can't always trust what you think, and obviously that can go way too far where you really don't trust anything you think, and we can take it out of proportion. However, I think it's really important to start questioning your own thoughts and their validity. Is that a word? I just used it. Great, made sense to me. Because sometimes that little voice in our head, it tends to not be a very nice one unless we've spent a lot of time training our brains. It tends to just fall to the negative side quite a lot, and it doesn't normally sit there and go, "You're doing great today. You look really beautiful today." Everyone talking over there, they're probably saying really nice things about you. It tends to say horrible things like, "You're really failing today. You look terrible. What is that outfit?" Everyone's whispering and talking about you. It's not a very nice little voice. And I think if we can start that conversation up in our heads, that's a really, really good step towards positive thinking and positive mental well-being, because we can't always trust that little voice, and sometimes we think if it's a thought we're having, it must be true, whereas it can just, in my head, again, I'm trying to explain things the way I think, it's your anxiety talking, it's not you. Just because it's inside your head doesn't mean it's you. Does that make any sense?
Yes.
It does, doesn't it? Great. Do you have any thoughts on this one, Kris?
No, it's something that I think everybody's felt from time to time. What you feel aren't true. One example that we use, and I think everybody, to some degree or another, would have experienced it, is if you walk into a busy pub or a busy restaurant and you walk through the door, everybody looks around at you and looks at you for a second and then goes back and starts talking. If you're not very well, you might think, what they're saying about me? Are they thinking about what do I look like, about what they're talking about? But no, they just heard a noise or felt a draft, looked round to it, just gone back to the business. Sounds harsh, don't care about you, not thinking about you, not talking about you. But if your mind's not in the right place, you suddenly start thinking, what's everybody saying about me? They're not. It's just trying to realise again what you're feeling, what you're experiencing may not actually be the true. Again, it's just trying to find, there's just a real world example that I'm sure everybody's experienced from time to time.
I think that's a nice point to touch on, just that phrase, no one cares. That can be quite an isolating, horrible thought sometimes, but for me, that's one of my most freeing thoughts that I use quite often. No one cares. I can get so wrapped up in myself and think everyone's looking at me, or everyone's thinking a certain thing, or everyone's talking about me. And the reality is, not in a sinister way, but in a more liberating way, hopefully. No one cares. Everyone's too bothered about themselves. And obviously, your circle, your support network, the people that love you care about you, but they don't care enough to be kind of thinking about you all the time and talking about you. And strangers certainly don't care. People think about themselves too much. So I think that can be quite a freeing thought that, yeah, nobody cares that much. That sounds really sinister, doesn't it? But I mean it in a nice way. People are so wrapped up in their own thoughts. Everyone's having this process themselves and thinks everyone's talking about them. Usually when someone's staring at you, they're probably thinking you're staring at them. What are you thinking? You know?
Yeah, probably the best way of saying you don't care, like you say, because you don't register in their day, really. Again, it sounds hard,
but it's true.
Yeah.
And it's quite a freeing thought. It's one
again,
I use
say
a lot.
Sometimes, again, if you're not well, though, you just think the worst.
Yeah.
You read things into situations that aren't there. And again, that modern technology, that can be quite difficult. You can get a text message. It's hard to put context or feelings into a text message, so you can read things and extra information that is in a text message that there isn't there, that wasn't intended. But again, if you're not in the right place, your brain, well, mine does anyway, just goes there and starts adding meanings and context and whole backstories into maybe what's a 10-word sentence that wasn't intended by the writer of it. But if you're not well, then you say you do catastrophise quite a bit. Well, again, I do anyway.
And you cannot realise how much you are putting energy into your thoughts as well and believing them. Like, I definitely used to believe everything I used to think. If it went through my head, it must be true. And that's why step number 9 is one of my favourites. And I use it as a mantra. So if I'm particularly anxious or overthinking quite a lot or not feeling great, I will sit and say it over and over in my head. My feelings aren't facts. Feelings are not always facts. My feelings aren't facts. And I will use it as a mantra. So if you do tend to have quite a busy brain and quite a loud negative voice in your head, it can be really helpful to remind yourself that Your feelings aren't always facts, and sometimes they are, but more than likely.
Yeah, it's always worth just challenging and trying to find some supporting evidence or something else to back up what you're feeling at the time. So say some Meg says what you are feeling may be perfectly valid at that point, but quite often it isn't. So it's trying to find something to support the way that you're feeling.
And another funny thought around that, not that you need to know my life story, but sometimes, so I'm big on trusting my gut instinct, and sometimes I get so confused. I'm like, is that my anxiety or is that my gut instinct? I'm like, should I be trusting and listening to this, or am I self-sabotaging? It can be so hard. That's just a daily battle that I have. Is it my gut instinct or is it my anxiety talking? Unsure. Just a thought to put out there. Does anyone else have any thoughts on that step? Feelings are not always facts, or any examples or how they would use that step? If you do, leave it in the comment below. So, is there anything else back on this step? I don't really believe that, so I'm going to skip over that. Step number 10. Okay, so we've just done feelings are not always facts, step number 9, and now we're moving on to step number 10, which is get on with your life. It doesn't say your life, it says your life. Honestly, give me a day off. Get on with your life. What does this one mean to you, Kris?
It's about trying not to put things off until you're feeling better. That's the way I take it anyway. It's easy to sort of hide yourself away. Don't partake in normal day-to-day activities until you're feeling right, until you're feeling like you're fixed and the way that you were beforehand. You can't just keep putting things off. It's about trying to live the best life that you can at that moment. Again, part of the recovery process is there may be some things that do need to change. You may not want to do or be able to do some of the things that you used to do beforehand. But it's a case of making the most of what you can do. And even, like I said, we talk about wellness tools and what worked for you in the past. Some of them may not work, so you're trying to find new things. But again, it's not putting off the future. It's living for the now, really.
Yeah, and that's part of, obviously, the changes ethos, which is learning to live with rather than suffer from mental distress. I just want to share this comment that Phoebe's put. Hi, Phoebe. Step 9 is definitely my favourite step. It is the step I am trusting most at the moment to follow the medical facts I am given rather than what I am anxious about. So that's obviously a huge practical way of using that step, and hopefully that's been a little bit helpful. I think, yeah, especially with kind of medical things, it can be really helpful to just stick to the facts and try to not get overwhelmed, I suppose. Yeah, I'm glad that one's helpful. It's my favourite one too. I'm just having a little read of what we've got in this booklet. I mean, it says, here the message is simple. Get on with your life. I mean, it's obviously a lot harder to do than just say. But yeah, trying to get some normality back, because I think sometimes that's what poor mental health does, strips us of everything that's normal, everything that makes us happy, and basic needs start getting neglected. So even if that is getting on with your life means getting up in the morning and having a shower, leaving the house, whatever that means to you, I think. Any more thoughts? I don't have loads of thoughts on these last ones. They kind of all blend in with each other a little bit.
No, I think I said what I needed to on this one. Yeah, it's about, like I said, it's living in the moment. It's not waiting for your distress to completely go away. It's trying to find a way to live with that distress rather than suffer from it. Again, you might have to make some adaptations, but again, it's trying to live for the now more than anything, rather than just waiting for it to go away. Because otherwise, you could be stuck. And it's sad to say, in some circumstances, you might be stuck for years. And in other ways, if you do just sort of become your diagnosis, you may not ever be able to move forward from it. You say you've just got to get on with things best that you can.
And learning to accept that, dependent on what it is you struggle with, suffer with, that might be a part of your life forever, and that's okay. And it's okay if you feel like you take 2 steps forward and 2 steps back, because realistically, we don't ever take them same 2 steps back. We're never starting from the beginning again. We're starting from a place of knowledge and experience, because every time we go back to square one, we've experienced the journey before. Hopefully that makes sense. We're never really back to square one, and journeys are never linear. It's about accepting that maybe, that might be part of your life forever, and coming to terms with that, and like you say, learning to get on with your life with that as part of it. And hopefully it won't be part of your life forever, but more times than not, if maybe that's a silly comment. I was going to say more times than not, if you struggle with something quite severely, it's usually part of you forever. But I suppose it is. You're always in recovery. What do you think?
To a degree, you always are in recovery. It's just where you are on that journey.
Yeah. And life happens, I was going to swear then. Glad I didn't. Has anyone got else? I can't speak today. Has anyone else got any more thoughts on step number 10? Get on with your life. It's an important one. I mean, every step's important. And like we said in our other videos as well, you don't necessarily do step 1 to 12 in order. Sometimes we can skip about, jump back, do multiple ones at the same time. It's not like the video keeps getting interrupted. My little temper creeping out there. Hi, Lorraine. Sometimes we jump between all of them and do lots simultaneously. Why couldn't I say that word? Did everyone hear Chris's stomach then? No. I did. Okay, step number 11. Número BFE uno. I don't know what it is. What's 11 in Spanish?
I don't know.
No, neither do I. Let's not offend any Spanish people. Great. Step number 11. Give it time. Now, time heals all. I do genuinely believe that. Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Time. Give it time. So, changes is a process, not an event. Is that supposed to say change or changes? Unsure. Is it a little play on words?
Yeah.
Great. Do you want to explain it?
No.
It is though, isn't it? It's not an event. Happiness is not a destination. It's all a journey. Life is just a journey, and I don't want to go off on a big philosophical tangent, but it is, and it's about learning to enjoy it and accepting the moment for what it is at the time, and making the most of it. There are going to be ups and downs, and sometimes we're going to have great days, sometimes we're going to have terrible days, but as long as we keep playing this little game of snakes and ladders, which is the example on the next page. I'm going to use this analogy and I'm going to explain it in pictures. So, it's like playing snakes and ladders. We're all on a board. Sometimes we hit a ladder and we go up the ladder and we're feeling great. We feel like we're just getting on with life, feeling amazing. And sometimes we hit a sneaky little snake and go sliding down. But at the end of the day, we're still on the board, we're still in the game, and as long as we keep playing, we will make it to the end. Good analogy, no? Isn't it? Okay, Lorraine. It can take a long time to become unwell, so don't rush to getting better. That's true. A lot of the time, if you have become quite mentally distressed or really unwell, it's taken time and a lot of situations to get there. Don't expect to be better overnight.
Yeah, I think there's a hope and a desire that you do get sorted out quite quickly. I think everybody has that. You sort of hope that you go for a session, a peer support group, or attend a workshop, and that's it. You'll finish your 6 sessions, and then next week you'll be absolutely fine, no problems whatsoever. Very sadly, it doesn't work like that. It is a process, and again, it's just the start of the process.
Mm-hmm.
I said it does take work, and again, sometimes like Lorraine says, you may have been gradually learning bad behaviours and different impacts may have been impacting your life for a decade or more. That's not going to get changed within 6 weeks, unfortunately. So it is about starting the process and start to try and change the way that you are thinking. And again, it's the process, and it does take time. And I think this, Meg says the last one was her favourite step. I think this was mine. I think this was the hardest one for me to sort of start to accept. It's going to take time. I was certainly at the school that say wanted to take some medication, speak to somebody, and I would be sorted for life. It took a few more years for me to accept that that wasn't going to be the case. So this was an important step for me to sort of get my head around. It would take time, and now, except I'm in, I say, lifelong recovery. It will be for lifelong. I could put a few feet wrong here and there, just misstep, and I could be, I say, back down to a hole where I was a few years ago. But again, keep working at things, and hopefully I'll stay on the path that I'm on now. But it is, it's work. It takes time. Again, it's just maybe accept the fact that it is going to take time. I think that can be a hard step to sort of grasp to start off with.
But to play devil's advocate, change can happen really fast as well. And I think recovery is a process and can take a very long time, but feeling a fraction better can cause a different quality of life, and that can happen quickly. So I think don't let the length put you off.
It's the process, isn't it? I said it's putting things in place. He said, you're not going to sort of get up one morning, do one, I feel great today in the mirror, and then expect that's going to be sorted for the rest of your life. They said it's something you need to start putting into place, and changes you need to make over a period of time. Like,
you're not going to do a sit-up and have abs. Every time I do a sit-up, I expect it. However, you're not going to. But once I've done that one gym session, do I feel better for making a start? Do I feel better for showing up for myself? Yes, I do. So am I where I want to be? No. But am I a damn sight better than I was yesterday? Yeah. So it's like happiness isn't far away, but recovery is a process. Does that make sense? I just don't want to put anyone off who's thinking, I need to start this kind of process of recovery and bettering myself and feeling better, and oh God, I haven't got 4 years in me. Because you know what? 4 years is going to go by regardless. So do you want to be 40 and feeling great, or 40 and feeling, who knows? Lorraine, peer supports and workshops help you to get through while dealing with getting well again. They do, and I know we really pipe on about how great Changes is, but it's because it is. It really, really is. There's something so special about our service, and showing up for yourself can just transform how you feel about yourself, because you deserve, show up for yourself as you would show up for the person you love the most. It's amazing how much we show up for other people and we don't show up for ourselves. Every time you, I don't know, walk into the gym, do that, see that friend, get out the house when you don't want to, get out of bed early, you are showing up for yourself, and you do just begin to fall in love with yourself, and that will just transform how you feel. Jackie, small steps make big differences. It is the smallest steps, the small, consistent steps that make the biggest differences, I believe. And my brain, as I'm saying that, goes, does it though? Because I'm an all or nothing kind of person. But yeah, it really does.
Like you said, consistency is the important part, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, I've not quite got my head around consistency yet. Not yet. But I'm in my 20s, I can still learn, no? Yeah, I can. Any more thoughts on step 11? Yeah, I arguably think this is the hardest one, and can make you want to give up. But that's what I always think in my head. If, say, it's like taking a course, being a vet, and you'd be like, oh God, it's going to take 8 years to be a vet. I'm going to be 32 before I'm a vet. This is a silly analogy, but I'm going with it. I'm going to be 32 before I'm a vet. And then, do you know what? You're going to be 32 in 8 years anyway. Like, it's like we think we've got more time than we have. Does that make sense? I know I say does that make sense a lot because I ramble. Like, that 8 years is going to go by anyway. That time is going to go by anyway. Use it. Don't let a lengthy amount of time put you off. I don't even know if I'm making any sense. I just don't want to put anyone off recovery. Like, do it now, take the step now,
Yeah.
go to the gym, get outside, whatever you need to do. Yeah. Okay, shall we move on to step number 12, our final step in our Changes 12-step recovery program? Shall we?
Pass it on.
Yes. Pass it on. We've got a great little quote here. The best way of holding on to something is to give it away. How poignant is that for a Thursday morning, afternoon? Nearly got it right, nearly. So this step is all about communication. If changes has worked for you, let someone else know. Whatever has worked for you, let someone else know, whether it be changes, whether it be walking, whether it be journaling, manifesting, having celery juice every morning, whatever it is that works for you, pass it on, but don't preach. Just gently give people ideas and go, this is what worked for me. Show people rather than tell people, I think. I'm just going to read some comments. Ian, always in recovery and all steps are very relevant with me anyway. It's great to see you on here live. Never ever give up. Take each day as it comes and thank you. Oh, what an inspirational comment for a Thursday. Thank you, Ian. Steve.
Any day, really.
Well, any day. Yeah, any day. But I'd like to hear it today on a Thursday. Steve, hi to both of you. Step 11, give it time, is important to remember and to realise that it won't happen overnight and keep chipping away. A sculpture starts as a block until it's worked and chipped away and to make something beautiful. It is in you and you just need to see it. Oh, I saw a meme the other day or something like that, and it was basically saying exactly that. I don't know why I'm going to try and say it a different way, that everything you want to be, that amazing sculpture is always within you. It's inside, it's not the outside. We've just got to chip away. Charlotte, changes is an amazing service. True that. So true. Lorraine, pass on the details of changes. If it works for you, then it can work for others. Help them along. Be kind. You'd be surprised, because I'm always like, changes has been about for what, 30 years?
In some form or another, yeah.
Like longer than my whole life. And it baffles me that people in Stoke still don't know about it. Because it's incredible. Spread the word. Spread it like coronavirus. Yeah, it's not
Don't spread it by coughing in people's faces.
No, don't spread it like that. No, but tell everyone. It might help. And even if our service can't help, we can always signpost to services that can. So if you're watching and you're not in the area, we can help signpost you to somewhere that's more suitable. Just, yeah, if you're always wondering, give us a message on anything. Social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Like I said last week, send a pigeon, whatever works for you. Just get in contact and we will help. We're the most friendly, helpful humans, aren't we?
Most days.
Most days, just not on a Friday or a Monday morning. Or Tuesday afternoon. I'm kidding. Joking. Have we done that last one?
Yeah, don't pass it on. Yeah.
I feel like I had more to say about that one. Oh no, even the booklet's telling me to keep it simple. Never use a big word when a small one will do. God, that's like music to my ears. Longer than 5 letters, you've lost me. I'm joking, kind of. I mean, that's interesting. I mean, it's not really. Remember that the big things in life, mum, dad, life, death, peace, war, day, night, and so on, all have little names. I don't know how to go with that, Kris. No, not interested.
You started it.
I started it, yeah. I know what else is small. Chanel. It's important. All the important things in life. Chanel. Gucci. I'm joking. Kind of. Has anyone got any thoughts on our last step? Pass it on. I wonder if you've all tuned in for all 12 steps. Has anyone got a favourite step of all 12 that we've done? Mine is definitely, obviously, the one we did today. Feelings are not always facts. Because if you're like me with a little anxious brain, it's a good mantra to have. I use it as a mantra. And sometimes when I'm meditating, I use it. Because I can't trust my thoughts. Yeah. Don't get too paranoid about them. The
brain says passing it on is giving hope to others. And yeah, if you can actually genuinely tell somebody that changes has worked for you, it certainly gives them hope that something will work for them. Which again, if you're not particularly well at a time, it's hard to see that hope, that light at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the last step of sadness, isn't it? Losing hope. And if you can give that to someone, that is magical. And we do. It is weird, isn't it? Like, even, I know I have silly examples, but like looking at like makeup products and stuff, you can be like, it's all right. But then someone goes, oh, it's amazing. You should see what it does to my eyelashes. And then you go out and buy it straight away. We do believe other people's experience, don't we?
Yeah.
It's a weird one.
Definitely somebody that you know well, yeah.
You do? We always look for recommendations. So I think if you can be the catalyst of someone speaking up and asking for help and getting that support, what a wonderful thing you can do. And if someone's just popped into your mind, drop them a text. Send them our Facebook. Send them our website. Let them join in on this live. Has anyone got any other thoughts this week? I feel like we've been very rambly today. And by we, I mean me. Normally Kris talks more, but he's dying. Not actually dying, hopefully.
No, it just feels like it a bit.
Just feels like it. Just hoping whatever it is, it's not contagious.
Yeah, it's one of those, realise that my feelings aren't always facts. I feel like I am, but I know I'm not.
Yeah, he's not. Hopefully he's very fit and well, you know. Any more thoughts, people? Any more thoughts? Is anyone doing anything nice for the weekend? Whoa, that looks weird, doesn't it? I'm just bringing some, happiness to your Thursday afternoon. I'm going to go have chips for my dinner after this. Because health is wealth, It's alright to treat yourself sometimes. Ian, never ever lose hope, but you must always talk to someone. Always talk, do not bottle it. Do you know, that is the biggest thing. Just say something.
Yeah.
No, it's been the theme of the week though. Just speak up. Like, no one is asking you to know what you're doing, asking you to feel okay, asking you to give us your life story. Just say something. Just reach out that hand. Step 12, pass it on. Spread the word of changes to people who need help and hope for the future. Steve does a very good job of doing that. He spreads the word far and wide. You'll find him anywhere. Anywhere and everywhere, saying how amazing changes is. You can't blame him. It's true. So true. Any more closing thoughts before I go off on a weird tangent?
So just remember, if you go to our website, changes.org.uk, you can see a link to all the workshops that we do, including the Foundation Recovery Workshop, which will go through the 12 steps in a bit more detail and how you can use them in your own life. Also the Wellbeing workshops on there as well. All the peer support groups, which are access at any time, are on there. They're just open-ended. There's no time limit to how many sessions you can attend on the peer support groups.
There's no waiting lists.
No. So there's details on the website for those. And enjoy your chips.
Yes, it is. I'm going to enjoy my chips.
So yeah, it's just all the information on the website. Get engaged. Again, if you want to send the website to your friends and family, again, pass it on that way. We'd love it if you could like and share these videos and our content on Facebook, again, because Mr. Zuckerberg and his algorithms, it's hard sometimes to get the word out. If you like and share them, videos, posts, it just gets us out there a little bit more. And again, you don't know whose life you can be touching and helping, and sometimes even saving just by that simple act. Again,
literally. How crazy that that's the world we've got to. Like, sharing a post could save someone's life.
Yeah,
pretty dramatic, isn't it?
It is.
But it works.
It can happen.
It does. We've seen it. We've seen it. So do it. Great. We love you, Kris and Megan. We love you. So true. And I think this is going to be our final live together, which is pretty sad. But we'll probably do more videos, won't we?
Yeah. Won't go into too much detail. Some of you may know Meg's off to a slightly different challenge for a few weeks. You may have seen her face around and about.
Yeah. I haven't.
So on behalf of Changes, we wish her all the best and thank her for everything that she's done for us. I have a chat. I'm hoping we'll have a catch up after this little project of hers is finished, just to see how she's got on.
Yeah.
As much as anything, just to talk about impact on mental health and how she's used her own resilience to get through it. Because again, much like she mentioned about the world we live on Facebook, there's some, no polite way of saying it, there's some monsters out there. So how you deal with that sort of aspect and the impact that it's going to have on mental health and how to get through it. And again, just some tips and tricks that she's put in place herself to get through.
Yeah, so that should be fun. So I will be back.
Yep, as Mr. Trump said, in some form.
In some form, this is true. Oh, Jackie, you'll be missed. Lorraine, Meg, you will be amazing. Oh, I do hope so. Well done, Megan. You're amazing, and thank you, Kris. Love you all, and thank you for what you did for me. You saved my life. This is a really positive live. Yeah. I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah, thank you, Ian. I always find about it, I think it's with Changes, I think we say we'd like to give you the tools, but I think you saved your own life.
Yes, true. Yeah. Nobody saves you save yourself. It's true.
But we're happy that we were there and helped.
Absolutely. Right, shall we leave it, or we're just going to keep rambling?
Well, on that, we've got some chips waiting, so dire need for them.
Absolutely. Have a wonderful Thursday, everyone, and a great weekend. I think the sun is going to come to say hello. Wear your SPF, but get out and get some vitamin D.
Thank you. Bye.
See you later.